149. Then it bumps up to 185. And then it bumps up. Look at this. This is a studio. They're selling you a studio that is 1,400 feet. It has 8 bathrooms. I'm not sure how you have 8 bathrooms. I don't know what the fuck that means. This is the supposed studios with 8 bathrooms. I don't know what the hell that means. Look at the bathroom. Look at the bathroom. What the fuck is this shit? What the fuck is this shit? You want 8 bathrooms? Yeah, apparently there's like only bathrooms. Look at this. Look at this. And you can tell this is small. Like, this is not a big living room. I want to see the kitchen. Oh, it doesn't even have space for an oven. That's why you have that electric oven. And that refrigerator isn't a real full-size refrigerator. And if you have a fan, who knows if you even have AC. The average pay for a minimum wage worker a year is basically $25,000 in the state of Georgia. It is legal to get a job in a fast food at 14, so I could make close to 99 till you're 18. Well, if you're saving all that money, yes. Did you know I was taller than some of my teachers when I was in 3rd grade or 2nd grade? Shit, you probably were taller than me. I'm like 5'2". Then I could get an actual job and support myself. But when you say actual job, what is your plan? Like, are you trying to become a doctor? Are you trying to become a software developer? Are you trying to become a lawyer? Because depending what you want to become, you might have to go to school. So, you know, people like, oh, college is fake, it's a waste of time. Yes and no. If you're going to become a doctor, you have to go to college. Like, you can't just become a doctor on your own watching YouTube videos. Because you got to get the licensing. You got to go, you know, you're a doctor. You will kill people if you don't become, like, you don't go through the correct education to become a doctor. A lawyer is the same shit. But if it doesn't matter what college you join, if it's a community or private, what are you trying to become? That you should start asking that question now and have at least 3 careers. Come on, little bitch ass bug. And at least have 3 careers where you could, like, at least try 3 of your most favorite careers you want, and then research how much they make. You want to make games, BB? That's good. So you technically don't even need to go to college for that. Why? Alright, fuck you, bug. I'm not playing this shit anymore. It's time to zap you because you're pissing me off. That bug has been flying around me for like 20 minutes. It's pissing me off. So, to become a gamer, you don't even need to go ahead and today, you don't even need to go ahead and go to school. Why? Because you freelance, you make indie games, you code games, and that's your experience. And then with that, you make your portfolio by going ahead and first of all you learn on YouTube. There's another website called Udemy. You could also you could learn there too. Like there's a bunch of websites that are free that you could learn. And then from there, when you learn from there, and you can even use ChatGPT to even teach you and even write you code that you can later on read. Because one way to learn how to program, and it's the same thing for gaming, is that you read the code. So you go ahead, you train on your own, you freelance. You try to join other people that are making a game. Like you see someone that's starting a game, like you watch me do a YouTube video, for example, hypothetically. I watch a bigger YouTuber, it doesn't have to be me. But you see someone that is an indie game, and you see the person, you like the game. Ah, wait. I disconnected. I think my internet is updating. It's 2 a.m. So most likely that's why. I'm here trying to kill a fucking bug. Well, just in case, for BBA Jackson and whoever watches in the future, I'll probably clip this. As a developer, like for example, you don't need to really go to school, but depending on what you're gonna do, it depends on time and money. It's one of the last things you said. No, yes and no. Like you have to get an idea of what you want to do in life. Okay, I reconnected. I'm not sure if you guys are still here. Yeah, babe, I'm almost done. I'm just talking right quick. All right, I Kick did not reconnect properly. Hopefully, it reconnects. Okay, my internet was updating, so it kind of caught off. That's what happened. Yeah, the internet was updating. It's like 3 a.m., so it probably didn't update because usually at this time no one should be streaming or anything, and it did the update. I'm not sure you still have here Jackson and BB, but in case you guys are not here, I'll still finish my thought, and I'll probably clip this, and then you can watch it in the future. But basically, it depends, right? All right, let me put it in the Discord. All right. All right, I saw Discord. Yeah, so good thing I mentioned it in Discord. So, just so you guys know, right? Depends on the job, right? And you need to get an idea of what job you want to do. If you're young, this is the best time for you to find a job. Like right now, one of the biggest things is like moving forward is you need more electrician, you need plumbers, you need like people like that put AC, like stuff that everyone needs. Everyone needs AC, especially like Florida, for example, because the heat that is too high. Or if you're in an area that is get too cold, you need AC because you need a heater, right? So there's a lot of jobs like plumbing. Everyone has a plumbing system, right? There's a lot of jobs that exist, and the new generation will be able to do it. But if the whole new generation just want to become YouTubers, for example, then you're kind of fucked. Because then there's no one being plumbers, there's no one being an electrician, there's no one being any of this. That's number one. Number two, you have to have an idea what you want to do. Because if you start researching now, you could get a more or less a good idea if you have to really go to college or technical school, how much you'll spend and how much money you're gonna make. It sounds nice to work like like a fast food job or whatever, like a minimum wage job, and then because you have no bills, you're able to like save money for like X amount of years, right? That's amazing. The problem is that are you really gonna save that money? Because you're gonna have money. So do you want to get a video game? You want to get a gaming PC? You're gonna spend money on all that, right? And then let's say you have enough money to buy a house. Let's say you become 18, you have enough money to buy a house, even though house is gonna be way more expensive by then, unless the market crashes. How are you gonna maintain the house? Because you got to have a good job to pay all your bills. And if you want to have a family, if you want to have a wife or a husband, whatever the fuck, that is gonna go ahead and cause you to, you're gonna have to make way more money, which is the problem. And it's like what I'm trying to say. Like, if I don't know why Twitch keeps connecting the chat. It keeps disconnecting for whatever reason. That's the problem. If you don't have these information, if your parents don't teach you this, then who's gonna teach you? Like I can mention this because I have kids and I already know how it works. But who else online is gonna teach you? A lot of people online don't even try to teach you. Like I'm not saying no one does. There's some good people out there that do want to teach people, but not a lot of people are watching those. The people like the most people want to watch actual speed, screaming like a fucking maniac. Kai Cenat, Hassan being a terrorist. Asmongold sometimes gives good advices, but has Asmongold because he's like reviewing other stuff that a lot of people agree with Trump and shit like that. Like that's what people want to watch. It's what people like to watch. Or if it's like a really cute girl that's streaming, then they go watch her. Instead of trying to watch relearn from people on the internet, instead of watching those people, try watching best jobs for 2025 or something like that. Like just go over jobs or just review videos about jobs. Like, all right, and just get an idea. It's something like you can take a break from video games for an hour or two and just invest in trying to figure out what you want to do in the future. And then if you do figure what you want to do in the future, you get at least three things you want to do in case one thing fails and the other one that you have two backups, at least minimum, then you go ahead and pursue that. And as of right now, you start. If you want to become a developer, then start making games. It could be shitty game. It doesn't matter. It's all about getting the experience. If you want to become a plumber, watch some plumbing videos. Try to see if you go to one of those Home Depot workshop and learn about plumbing. Even though you're young, or just try to just watch videos. Fuck it. Play some plumbing simulator games. There's a lot of tools in on YouTube. Even ChatGPT, like my manager mentioned, and that's like my last stream was. What did I do for my last stream? I went ahead and I used ChatGPT to do a mock interview, right? That's a tool. Instead of using ChatGPT to eat shit, I use this for something that will help me most likely get the job. So that's what you want to do. And that's like the best advice I could give. But the problem is like not everyone, like a lot of the young people don't have someone guiding them properly. And that's why we end up how we are. When you have millennials still living at their parents that, that can't do anything with their life and that they want to blame society, it's like, yeah, society is harder now, but you are also sucking dick. It's like, it makes no sense that a big chunk of millennials are struggling. It makes no sense. I wonder if this is a statistic. I can't spell millennials. No, I can't spell parents either. So apparently, in 2023, approximately 18% of adults aged 25 to 34 in the U.S. were living with their parents. This percentage varies by gender, with men more likely to live with their parents versus a woman. Okay, how about in 2025? It's still 18. It's still 18. They haven't gone up. Well, let me explain why. What is this? So Florida has 20%, a bunch of states has 20%, and others have like most of the South has 20%, and yeah, obviously New York and shit like that. Well, let me explain why. Why is this happening? And why more men? Well, easy. Why is there more men? Because more men are playing video games and eating shit on the internet. And I'm not saying you can't play video games. You could play video games, but you cannot live in the video game. You gotta play video game and then disconnect and then do something with your life. Women obviously have it easier because a woman just find a guy, like an older man, that takes her out of the house. Because that's what a lot of women, I'm not saying all the women, but a lot of women just find a guy that is already like, they're 18, they're 25. A chick that's 25 could find a 45-year-old that already has his life off, good because he didn't suck dick like the millennials, has a house and stuff like that, and then a woman marries him, have kids. There you go. She's not gonna live with her parents because she already lived with that older gentleman. But the young people, millennials, for example, guys are not gonna be marrying cougars. So what they have to do is get a job and shit like that. But instead of doing that, they just play video games and shit like that. But that's because of their parents not teaching them to fucking be a good member of society. Now, I'm not blaming only the parents. Society has, failed everyone too. But at the same time, your parents are the main people, like the first people that could fucking get you to basically do something good with your life is your parents. If they don't teach you like the fucking basics and kind of make you like learn, like, try to not have you home doing nothing, and they try to guide you like, hey, what do you want to do with your life, then you're fucked. My dad didn't do that. I'm one of the anomalies. I'm an anomaly. Because my dad all my dad did was tell me to go to school. But he didn't tell me find what career you want. No, he wanted me to become a mechanic like him. I decided, because I like computers, I decided to follow IT and stuff like that. But again, like I said, I'm an anomaly in a sense that because my dad used to like, be very, how you call this? Like, he used to control our life so much. Like, I couldn't buy ice cream. Like, if I wanted ice cream, I had to get whatever he wanted me to get. He'll control everything. Like, I didn't have freedom, and I wanted freedom. So for me to gain this freedom, I need money. So I decided to try to do something in my life so I could have money, so I didn't have to depend on my dad. So that way, I had, like, if I want to eat dick ice cream, I could eat dick flavor ice cream. That's how that happened. But again, that's an anomaly in a sense that I did it because I did not want to keep, going by whatever my dad wanted me to go by. A lot of people don't care. There's a lot of millennials that will tank it. They will enjoy being controlled by their parents, and still, as long as they have video games and they could live with their parents, they'll tank it. They could do that. I couldn't. I just couldn't. I wanted my freedom. And that's how that works. But myself, for example, for my kids, I will explain the same thing I was telling you guys earlier. I'll be like, what do you guys want to do when you grow up? And try to get them to pick at least 3 jobs. If my son wants to be a plumber, all right, learn some plumbing. And I'll try to take him to like if suppose the Home Depot used to do like a little workshop, I'll see if they have it, or you find it, or if not, I find him a simulator game, or if not, I change something. I change my sink and I have him help me while we both watch a YouTube video, because that's how I change my sink. I use a YouTube video to figure out how to change my own sink. So that's how you do it. That's just how you do it. And then you teach him like that. You teach him like the basics. And you motivate your kids. But if your parents don't motivate you, then you're going to have to learn. You have to reinvent the fucking wheel. If your parents don't help you and show you, you have to reinvent the wheel. You're going to have to go through the same trial and errors as other people do when they start from square one. Society is not supposed to do that. You should not be reinventing the wheel. It's supposed to be like, you go ahead. This is how it's supposed to be. Like, I'm going to do something that I see Asman, Pirate, Software, everyone do. How do I make I'm just going to do the white screen. You go ahead. This is your grandpa, right? This is your grandpa, happy face. Because I can't draw really good stick figure, right? The GP, right? Grandpa. He goes ahead and he invents the wheel, right? Now, Grandpa have 2 big brain kids, right? And the other one had a little small brain. All right? Now we have the your uncle and Dada. right? Why would they reinvent the wheel? They don't reinvent the wheel. They add fucking spikes now to it. They learn how to fucking make it be able to drive on ice, so people do not crash in black ice, right? They instead of reinventing the wheel, they get the same wheel that their dad made, your grandpa, right? And they add an additional feature to that wheel. Now you have a cool ass wheel that could basically drive on ice, especially dry ice. Or what is it, black ice, right? So you lessen the crashes. And then your dad has you, and let's say you have another sibling. Let's say you're not only child, right? That's you, right? Now, you go ahead, because your parents decided to not teach you shit, you have to reinvent the fucking wheel. Now you went back to square one. Now you're doing the same thing grandpa did. Why? Why would you just fucking ruin this section? That's what a lot of people are doing. Why? Because grandpa invents the wheel. They make the wheel better. But instead of teaching their kids to do something with their life, their kids have a phone. Phone. I can't even, it's too small. I can't even make it. Phone. There you go. Phone. They go eat shit with their phone. And then the parents, even though they did the good shit, now they also have a phone. And even uncle. You know what? Uncle is sucking his own dick too. He's here watching penises. And your dad is probably watching penises too. There you go. And now you're reinventing the wheel. You have to go through the same trials that your grandpa did. Your grandpa went. No reason. That's stupid. That's very stupid. That's the whole problem. But if your parents, or at least your dad, go ahead and instead of washing the dicks, or if you have an uncle, they go ahead and instead of doing that, they go ahead and they teach you. They like, look, we made this wheel. Don't reinvent it. Now you add, instead of fucking adding spikes, you have the wheel with spikes. Right? And it also shoots flamethrower. Now you melt the ice too. Fuck it, I don't know, something stupid like that. There you go. Now you have a wheel that is like, what is it? Impervious to fire. It shoots flamethrower. It has the fucking spikes. So you could go on the dry ice and you can also melt the ice. There you go. See? Now, and you improve. And then you just become. And the next generation is better than the last. And the next generation is better than the last. That's how it's supposed to be. And that's how society moves forward. You want society to move backwards, then you get this. When you go and you're in school around now, and they have to tell you, oh, a woman can be someone that feels like they're a woman, you already know we already fucked up. Because it makes no sense. Similar to when I see, oh, pregnant person. What the fuck is a pregnant person? Who the fuck gets pregnant besides female animals? Woman, girls. That, you know, well, hopefully you're not a girl and get pregnant, but well, there's cases that girls get pregnant too. But it's supposed to be woman. You don't get pregnant person. What the fuck? So when you get these shit happening, that it makes no sense. And you have parents that are with that mentality. They don't even invent the wheel. The wheel don't even exist. So if you want to try to move in society and you have to reinvent the wheel that your grandpappy did, or your GGP, grandpappy, then you're fucked. Anyway, I think that's a good place to leave it. It's 3 a.m. for me, basically 4 minutes, and I went very deep into this. I love talking about shit like this because I'm a type of person that I'm a dad, and I want to teach my kids not to suck dick. I don't want them to reinvent the wheel. I already know the fucking wheel. I have the fucking wheel. I already made it my way. I copied the wheel my dad made and I made my own wheel. I want them to do the same. Make a better wheel. I want them to be 100 times better than I am. But for that to happen, parents need to step up. Again, society could make it harder. But if parents are not helping you go through society, they don't help you break that fucking wall, then the wall is going to take you. That's how it is. That's how it is. Anyway, I'm going to be heading out. I'm most likely going to clip this. This is going to be a clip for sure. I'll probably put it in one of the other channels. But yeah, I hope stuff like this help. If any of you guys are watching this, I hope this helps. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm like this person, like this like super like smart person either, or nothing like that. Like, oh, like there's no way that, you know, that I'm like the one with all the answers. It's more like this is just basic stuff, right? This is just basic. And if you're young and you're watching this, you should ask yourself, right? What do I want to do with my life? Because life is not getting any easier. When you have rent like this expensive, and this is Miami, this is a crappy ass house that supposedly has 8 bathrooms. Obviously, that's not true. And it's $185,000, and then you jump from 185 to 235, and then you keep jumping and jumping and jumping. And look, this is 756 square feet. That's half the size of my house. That's no, a little more. 1,400 is what I have. This is 1,512. And if you go and see this, 1 bedroom, one. And I'm looking for houses, and they're showing me apartments. This is an apartment. It's not even a house. You know? And this is what you get. You get this. You know? This is garbage. You're getting 1 bedroom. You go ahead. Scroll down. You scroll down, right? This is with 20%. This is with 20%. Look, credit score of 720. You have to have amazing credit score. Your down payment has to be $47,000. $47,000. And remember, if you're young, by the time you were able to buy a house or this stupid ass apartment, the down payment isn't going to be $47,000. It's going to be way higher. And this is because it's 20%. The down payment, where did they show the down payment? This is not showing the breakdown. There you go. It's 20%. If you want to be a first time buyer, you could pay 3%. If you pay 3%, it's $7,000. Look how your mortgage increases. Look at the difference. This is 20%, right? $1,900. So basically like $2,000. Go to 3%. Look how basically almost $500 more. That's almost $500 more. And then let's do this. Does this change anything? No, it didn't. And then mortgage insurance. Okay. Property taxes. Maybe is that. Home insurance is not $78 a month. Bullshit. Even I don't pay $78 a month. And this has HOA, which is worse. This has HOA. With HOA, there's a lot of stuff you can't do. You can't even paint the house whatever color you want. So you have a house, but it's not really yours. You have to go by whatever the community wants. And you can even get, if I'm not mistaken, they could kind of force you to sell the house and leave if they don't want you there. I never lived in an HOA, so I don't know 100%. Someone that lived in the HOA watching this, you give us more information. And this is the rate right now, the interest rate. Who knows if it'll go up and down. But just so you know, think about this. $2,400. Imagine, what do you gotta make to make $2,400? I make $5,000 a month as a QA, right? Imagine 5,000, right, a month. Minus 2,500. This is almost 2,500. That's half of my paycheck. Just half of a paycheck. This does not include water bill, light bill, internet, your gas, your food, your car note, your insurance for your car. Life is hard, man. If you want to make it happen, you have to get a good job. You have to get a profession that not only will it give you a stable job, it has to make you stand out. If you become a plumber instead of working for someone, you learn how to work for someone. Not a lot of people are going to be plumbing because everyone wants to be a YouTuber like a dumbass, and everyone wants to be a software developer or whatever. Most of those people are going to get replaced by AI. Even me as a QA, I'll get replaced by AI sooner or later. So what do? You become a plumber. You open your own business. And if you're in an area where there's that many plumbers, and it's only, let's say, 3 plumbers, and you open that business, you good. But obviously you gotta get the experience and stuff like that. And look, I owe almost 100. Like, one of my student loans is $70,000. All right, 70,000 is what I owe. If you go for a plumber for a vocational school, you probably end up paying like $15,000. You're nowhere 70, and like I said, that's one of my loans. That's not all of them, but just teaching you guys something. My dad didn't teach me all that. My dad never went to school, so he didn't know. If I would have known that school was like that and it was a scam like that, again, depending on what you go for, if you want to be a doctor, then yes. But and also, if I would have done the research, which I did not do as a kid, well, not only as a kid, as a young person. I'm the oldest. I have an older brother. I have an uncle. I had an uncle, but he also didn't go to school. Like, I have no one that knew how shit worked here in the United States. Again, I'm not saying that like that's like, like I don't have no fault. I should try to learn. I should ask questions to the teachers or something like that. But they don't even teach teachers to tell you these things. So you won't know these things. So in the end of the day, I had to figure it out on my own. So I had to invent the wheel. Why would my kids reinvent the wheel? Why should I not give this information and this experience to my kids? So that way they already have the whole wheel and they could just add to the wheel. Anyway, I feel like I'm repeating myself. I'm heading out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, learned something from this, and peace out.